Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this show on the internet is my morning coffee show. And yes, this is my morning coffee. I told you morning coffees were coming back, and by the way, I am wearing pants. I decided to go bare chest today, and I can flex. I'll flex for you. Boom! Oh. It's gonna turn into one of those videos. No, we're here to talk about shit, and I decided to go bare chest today because fuck it, that's why. Oh, shut up. I'm watching Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, the courtroom battle, and I love the song that plays in it. It's called Panzerhound, which I love the name of that song. Alright, it's just badass. Wolfenstein, I think Wolfenstein, the modern Wolfenstein is kind of badass because you are... Ooh, my knee. It's not the Wolfenstein that's taking place in a fictional version of Nazi Germany where you're fighting, Nazi scientists who are trying to resurrect the dead. No, you're playing as... The game is set in an alternate version of history with the Nazis taking over, and you're playing as Billy Blazkowicz, shooting them all down. And it's kind of badass, and especially the courtroom scene. Watch, I won't ruin if you've played the game. You understand what's going on there, but the thing that kind of makes me laugh, though, well, I'll get into that in just a moment. Speaking about authoritarians taking over, let's talk about the Democrats. No, but most importantly, one of my favorite damaged good ladies, AOC, who is very attractive, she's attractive in the sense of for a decent socialist. So it's, she's got them big old socialist knockers, which I'll just say, which is the meme. Now I'm just quoting the meme. I'm just simply quoting the meme. But she is very attractive. I'll say that much. She is very attractive. Would I? Yes. Let's just leave it at that. But she's kind of a free radical thinking liberal in the sense because she's out there fighting for, well, she's supposedly fighting for truth, justice, and the American way when she's fighting against global warming, climate change, let's see, systemic racism. Let me see what else. Farting cows, and overall good common sense. Oh, shut up. Shut up, you kangaroo court. No, the thing I love about the AOC, she is kind of just what she is. She's damaged goods. And I know people out there are like, oh, she's so stupid, but she's kind of hot. I don't know. She's dumb and pretty, I'll say that much. But the one thing she's starting to get really annoyed with is that she's kind of lumping everything together into one thing, which I find absolutely hilarious, is that the reason why we have climate change or global warming is because of racism. I shit you not. She's bunching racism into everything that's wrong. And I'm not talking about social issues. I'm talking about everyday things, Oh, well, eating red meat is racist. Like, what the fuck? Like, are you shitting me? Or, the reason why, the sun's hot is because of racism. It's like, oh, the global warming affects black people. And I'm like, yeah, it affects us too. It affects Asian people. It affects everybody. It's like, what? The reason why, this happened or this, and it's like, shut up. Like, you're just bunching her. The reason why immigrants are moving here is because of climate change. And it's like, are you serious? Please take the mic away from her, all right? Or just put her in a position where you think she has power, but she really doesn't. Like, she's just like, oh my God, like, lady, not everything is caused by race. And I'm not talking about, social issues, all right? I'm not talking about social issues. I'm not going to get into that right now, but, about economic, wealth and, neighborhood, what's the word I'm looking for? Social economics and stuff like that, I'm talking about, things that have a cause and effect that are caused by something else. The reason why people are immigrating is because of their shitty environment. You know, why people are fleeing from Mexico is simply this: Mexico sucks. Even the Mexicans know this. And before you say anything, well, that's my country. It's like, yeah, your country's kind of falling apart. It's been falling apart. It needs a cleanse. It's like it has a disease, and that is the cartels. And I know I'm going to get attacked by the cartels. I know the cartels are going to be like, you told. It's like, no. The reason why Trump wanted to build that wall was so that they could stay there and get angry. And you know what I really think, though? I wish the United States would just, you know how, legit help, Mexico. Like, okay, you have this problem here, we will help you with your revolution. Help, basically send some legit, a democracy and a republic. Make them free, They need to start the revolution. They need to start their own revolution. We need to start our own revolution, but we need to start their revolution. They need a revolution. But they need people who are not going to get corrupted by the cartels. They need to wipe those guys out. They need to fight their corrupt government, And that's the issue why they're coming over here. Is the fact that their governments suck. They failed them. And so they're fleeing to the last bastion of hope, and that is America. I have nothing against people fleeing from another country to the land of the free and home of the brave, but you have to do it legally. I know your country sucks, but you have to hide. That I don't know. It's insanity that we're kind of using something else to do this. And you got Gretchen, what's her face? Gretchen Hetchenberg. I don't know, because I don't care for her. And she's 18, she's just this ugly child who's screaming, "How dare you! You've stolen my future!" It's like, well. Welcome to the party, pal. That's how I feel with the boomers. Ooh, I'm just joking, boomers, I know. But it's just the insanity of it. It's like, guys. It's like, first of all, look, I know, seeing, dry desert, it's all optics, all right? Global climate change is just very much optics. It's like, yes, there's climate change, but this global warming that we're all gonna die thing, the doomsdayers, it is just people with it's just glorified people with those signs that say the end is near and they ring the bell. It's like, yeah, the end is near, but it's not getting as close as you think, okay? Because back in the day, they said there was going to be global cooling, and now there's global warming. Look up an old article. It's all optics. It's like, you see a polar bear. Here's an image. You see ice caps, and then you see a polar bear standing on the lone, bastion of ice for salvation. But that thing fucking swim. Ice breaks off all the time, and they swim. And didn't Al Gore say that would we be, living in Waterworld or similar to it in years to come, getting very close to say 2020, and here we are, and nothing is flooded. I really do think it's a scam. I really do think global the Democrats have made it into a scam. They looked at the statistics, they looked at the optics, and said, fuck it, let's just push the global warming thing. I mean, the most ridiculous piece of propaganda, and I hated this movie, was The Day After Tomorrow, where basically you just had drastic weather changes in just Michael Bay levels of ridiculousness. Even Michael Bay looks at that film and goes, dude, I wouldn't even do that. No, that's stupid. But goddamn, is it just... I'm sorry, but it's the propaganda on that is just annoying, especially veganism, which honestly, I have nothing, again, I'll repeat this for my vegan friends, I have nothing against veganism, absolutely not. I think it's a great diet for cleansing. I also think it's a great diet if you can be sustainable on it, and I believe you can with any diet. You can, and I can, not to say carnivore is a sustainable diet unless you know what you're doing. Same thing with veganism. You can't just pick up vegetables and start eating them. The same thing happened with James Blunt, the guy who's saying, "You're beautiful." He tried the carnivore diet, and I was researching this too. And after reading Sean Baker's book, I was like, "Oh, this is what you did wrong, you stupid bastard." And this is what I also did wrong too. you need your fats. You need your fats. You need all three things, like carbohydrates, which are from vegetables or potatoes. Which, by the way, folks, we need to stop eating so many processed carbohydrates. This is the problem with our country. We're not getting nutrient-dense foods, and I'll discuss that in just a moment. But it's this kind of bullshit that I see with again with the climate change thing, or factory, farmers don't care for their cows and they feed them shit, and this propaganda they're talking about factory farming, and some of the factory farmers don't even do this shit. But I was recently looking up this dairy guy. Well, I'll discuss that in a moment when I talk about veganism. I don't have nothing against veganism. Again, back to the point I had. Veganism is a good diet, and I've seen people be sustained on it. I've seen many of people get sustained on it. The problem is that I've seen, well, not the problem, but the problem is that there's been a big push in veganism and plant-based diet, which honestly, not the entire American population is going to do it. Now, I'm not granted, I chose not to be on it because I was like, you know what, that's not for me. That's not for, not to say I haven't tried a vegetarian diet. I've tried a vegetarian diet. I'm just not committed to just the entire plant-based thing. I just don't, granted, and I've seen people work on it, but I don't think it's suitable for me. I think it is a suitable diet because some people can adapt to it well, and then some people can't. I'm just one of those people who can. I've been bred on meat, so I have nothing against meat, and I've seen how the sausage is made, and I'm not disgusted by that. And here's the thing too: a lot of people choose to be a vegan because of other reasons. Because I know this couple who are Marines. The lady, the wife said to me, the reason why she stopped, because she ate that every day in the Marines. So they give you nothing but rare beef and eggs and just that rare diet. It gets to you. A lot of soldiers do that because that's what a lot of soldiers get, is a meat-based diet, a very high meat-based diet. Because you want that increased testosterone, you want that aggression, you want that savagery, you want that warrior mindset from your soldiers. So you feed them a non-plant-based diet, you feed them a meat-based diet. And that's how you make soldiers. Well, other things too. But there's been a big push, and I've seen in movies, and it's kind of propaganda-ish, about eating bugs, about what was this, the new Peter Rabbit movie that's coming out, which I don't know why they made a sequel to that. The fox, there's a scene where in the trailer where Peter's like, oh, you don't have to eat me, and the fox is like, oh, I'm on this new plant-based diet, look at me, because it doesn't really suit me because I'm a fox and I'm a carnivore, but it's okay. I'm sorry, I just wanted the fox just to drop dead. What happened? You fed a fox a plant-based diet, you stupid rabbit. Listen to me. They are animals. You're an animal. You're a herbivore. That's a carnivore. Yes, he's going to eat you. But you know what? You could have suggested that he eat hamburgers or something else, or some kind of meat-based product. I mean, you animals do wear clothes. You can't walk into a shop, pay, and then hop out. How dare you? But I put him down. I didn't throw him. But I'm picking up Peter by his ears. Like Roger Rabbit. But no, I've seen that happen in a movie. Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. There's a scene where they take a ride from a crazy hillbilly, and he has a trunk full of rabbits, and after they dealt with them, they steal the car, but they're removing the rabbits by just picking, Clint Eastwood's just picking them by the ears, and you just see Jeff Daniels picking them up by the Jeff Bridges picking them up by the just gently picking them up. It's funny as shit. But, I don't know, I think there's a lot of propaganda in those movies. There's just been kind of this big push in movies, and especially with, I'm probably going to go super long on this too, so forgive me, for plant-based diets, including, look at the Impossible Burger, or the Impossible Meat, or the Beyond Meats. Now, I'm okay with veganism being veganism. Okay, you're not lying to yourself that you're eating. Oh, I'm eating vegan chicken, or I'm eating vegan this. Yes, I've seen a couple people do that, but it's at the end of the day, you're eating vegetable. Like, you're not eating any meat whatsoever, and you have to, well, I'm hoping you're getting your protein from a good source. Honestly, I know it's like a little bit sad to say it, but yeah, I would just sneak in a little vegetarianism and just, alright, it's okay to drink a little milk. Okay, eggs are fine. I don't see anything bad about that. I really don't. Like, okay, unless you're like harming that chicken, then okay, then unless you know how chickens are raised, and I think that's the most humane way of doing it. Just having, hens just produce eggs for you, and then once in a while get a rooster in there so they can make more chickens. But, even milk, too. Milk's a great resource. It's like, oh, that wasn't made for you. That was made for the calf. It's like, really? You say it's full of pus and blood, but it's for the calf? Like, why would you let the calf drink something that's full of pus and blood? It's like, that's the case that, like, has anybody really milked a cow? Like, really milked a cow? Like, I don't really see any pus and blood in those things. Like, they filter it, and it's like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's pus and blood in there, but yet it's made for, like, pick one. It's okay. It's not meant for us. But how would you feel if you were a calf and you're like sucking on your mom's teat and like you just taste the blood and pus? Like, that's disgusting. Why is it like that? Well, that's natural. That's not natural. What's wrong with you? What do you mean? It's there's pus and blood in it. Why am I drinking this? It's like, well, because the vegans are wrong. I also think that, not to say they're wrong, but they're uneducated on that. There's a difference between being, not knowing and then being, I'm not going to get into that now, never mind. I think it's also a lack of education. If you really look how the sausage is made or how the milk is made, how like some farmers actually do care for their cows, because it's like we have this idea in our head of livestock being this kind of like, they torture them and they shove them in the poor condition. It's like, you do realize that doesn't make good milk, right? Stress really does fuck the body up big time, especially when you're dealing with food, especially food. They don't like stress the cows by killing them in but by stressing them. Like, stress fucks with the meat, tensing up, and it's like makes it less hard, and it probably like the chemical of fear and stuff like that, and like all that stuff. All like stress fucks the meat. I know this because I used to be a hunter. Excuse me, used to be, still am. I just haven't gone hunting in a while. I miss it though. But I'm stronger, wiser, and I'm thinking about going back out there. And now I know how to get my own clothing. Make my own gear. Prep in a sense. But that's another thing too people don't understand is hunting as well. People think it's like, oh, these big, these men with small penises. It goes back to small penises. I don't know why they keep picking. What about the hunters who hunted buffalo and shit like that? Like, did they have small... Did you see gatherers being like, oh, look at those hunters, and their small peepees hunting. They can't just pick berries all day. It's like, bro, they're fighting mammoths that will kill them. They're hunting with spears and arrows. Spears and bows and arrows and rocks and sharp rocks. Chasing them off cliffs. What the fuck you talking about, bro? They're fighting, animals that were ripping them apart. Look, and again, and this is not a pick on vegans as well. This is not a vegan thing, but this is like how we've adapted as a society, I'm okay with it. Again, I'm okay with the vegan diet. I'm okay with it. It's suitable. And again, I also see like the side of it too. It's like, back to that thing where it's like, if you got used to, like, you somehow lose your taste for meat, and I understand that because it brings back bad memories, or you're just like, that taste of blood in your mouth constantly is just kind of not good for you, and I understand that. It's like the difference between John Milius and Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone went to Vietnam. He was a Vietnam vet, so but John Milius, they both wrote, I think, Conan the Barbarian, yeah. John Milius, is kind of, I wouldn't say he's a war hog or a war pig or anything like that. He is a more of a rambunctious, balbostic kind of guy. He kind of loves that kind of macho, zen, anarchistic, this way of the samurai kind of thing. So it's kind of a funny thing to see that. Because again, John Milius is not, he wasn't a soldier. He didn't go to Vietnam. He missed out on Vietnam. He actually, and another thing too was the fact that he missed out, but also felt bad for missing out because of his asthma. His whole plan was basically to become a soldier and just get lost in combat. Basically, the soldier who never returned. Like, he never thought about coming back. That was like his goal in life. After he got rejected, he went to a movie theater that was playing the Kurosawa films. The guy who made Seven Samurai and stuff like that. And he became inspired by that to become a filmmaker, which I think is awesome, because it's and also his dad had some influences too on him, because he also got him hooked on John Wayne and those classic heroes, which is another beautiful thing I love about John Milius, is the fact that he is, everybody talks about Schwarzenegger, everybody talks about the action stars, but they never talk about the action directors, like Paul Verhoeven, Terrence McKinnon, I think it's Terrence McKinnon, the guy who directed Die Hard. I could be wrong about that. Simon West, John Milius is up there. Yes, he's also made a lot of movies that are very, serious, too. But he's also made a lot of movies that are very action-packed. He's made Conan the Barbarian. Not the sequel, the first one. He's made Red Dawn. He's made... He wrote John Dillinger. He wrote a lot of the lines in Apocalypse Now. He wrote, actually, the speech in Jaws, in the first Jaws movie, 100 men, 200 men in, 50 sharks, 20 men come out. It's that line, where it's talking about why Locke hates all the sharks, yeah. But again, back to veganism, and my point being, it's one of the things I kind of find funny about why people choose this diet is the fact that there's something more going on than just saying, oh, I'm just going to go plant-based diet. They chose that because of some other reason. They've lost that taste for meat. They basically gave up on it. And I understand that. I understand that completely. So, yeah. If you're happy and you're vegan, good. Go do it. Just do it. I just choose my own lifestyle. Thank you. And that's another thing, people, this is my point at being, because I know I went on to this long rambling thing about John Milius and war and not getting lost in that point, but the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm tired of people telling me what the fuck to do. That's all I'm just saying. Lead by example. And again, this couple that I know, they look like happy vegans, so alright, fine. It's when you see Hollywood push it, and you see Burger King push, and I've seen it in when I was working at Giant. I was seeing it. I'm like, holy shit! It's I just look at that. I'm like, that. Why do you fake meat? And then you look at the ingredients, and what portion does it say vegetarian on? Where's any of the vegetables that are made in this? Where are the seasonings? It's these chemical names that have atrazine, you can't pronounce them unless you went to chemistry. Became a chemist. It's what the fuck is this shit? And you look at it and it's this is not health food. This is junk food that's pretending to be health food because it's plant-based. And that's another thing that pisses me off. Health food, junk food that's pretending to be health food. I hate that as well. It's something, it's like a dumb movie pretending to be smart. That's insulting. That's really fucking insulting to anybody who's watched movies. It's the same thing with health food. It's It's an unhealthy thing pretending to be healthy. I hate that. I absolutely fucking hate that. It's one of the most obnoxious things I've ever seen in my entire existence. It's like, how dare you try to pretend to be something you're not, and then like rot me from the inside out from watching you. Like, there's like one of my favorite games of all time, game series, is Saints Row. Saints Row 2, I think, is one of the best in that series. It's a dumb game. Excuse me. It's a smart game pretending to be dumb. Or a good game pretending to be bad. Because, yes, it does have a lot of jank to it, but it's not crippling jank. It's not sensitive. Yeah, some things are stiff. It's not as smooth as GTA, where, like, the animations are smooth. It's very serviceable for what it is, and it actually works well. Like, I would love a remaster, and I mean this too, if Felician is watching this. A remaster of Saints Row 1 and 2. Take the gameplay and engine, things you did in the first game, things you did in the second game, and take the graphics of the third game and put it in that game. Because you know what? There's a lot of things that, like, Saints Row 3 did, and then Saints Row 4 did, especially when it came to graphics. It looks beautiful, but the problem with, like, those games, is that the story's just kind of like way too fucking stupid, way too over the top, way too cartoonish. You know, and like minus Saints Row 4, which I think is a great game as well, because it did embrace that. It was like, okay, fine, we absolutely fucked up with Saints Row 3. Let's just go over the top. I like that. I wish they would just like remade. I wish because they do have the time travel thing. I wish Saints Row 5 was like the crux of all that, like the best of both those worlds come together. Like, an idea would be if they go back in time, but they find Dex alive. Like, you could retcon that and be like, oh, I had a phantom put in place, like in Metal Gear Solid 5, and Dex goes back in time and screws up the timeline, so Earth doesn't get destroyed, the Zen army doesn't come, and everything falls apart after Saints Row 3. I don't know. I think Saints Row, but my point being is that it's a dumb game pretending to be smart. Excuse me. It's a smart game pretending to be dumb. Then you got other games that like are just so stupid, and they just, I'm not going to mention them. Last of Us 2. Sorry. Did I say Last of Us 2? Yeah, I think I did. But, you know, it's dumb games pretending to be smart, and I hate that. I hate that so much, because it's like they're trying to be like, oh, take us seriously. It's like, no, embrace your goofiness. You know, it's like the reason why Saints Row, in my mind, is one of the best series, and I'm including Saints Row 3 and 4, is the fact that it embraced its, you know, own ridiculousness. About, you know, yes, it started out as a GTA clone, but then it decided to be like, you know what, we're gonna do our own thing. Fuck you. And that's the beauty of it. That's the smartness in that dumb game. But then you get a game like, you know, The Last of Us 2, and it just does dumb things for no good reason, just because it needs to tell a story, and it's the, you know, that's dumb movie pretending to be smart. I'll discuss that in just a, I'll discuss that in another video. I've gone long enough, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, love you, bye-bye. And to finish up my topic here, I will say this, if you're a vegan, good for you. I'm just tired of the propaganda that people are pushing with a plant-based diet. Not veganism, but plant-based diet. You know, I don't care for it, and honestly, it's meat pretending to be, plants pretending to be meat is not real meat. I'd rather eat real things. The point I'm getting at is I want to eat real things. I want to eat what they are. If I want to eat an onion, I'm going to eat an onion. If I'm going to eat tofu, I'm going to eat tofu. If I want to eat steak, I'm going to eat steak. If I want to eat eggs, I'm going to eat eggs. I want to eat what I know what I'm eating. I don't want to eat something I don't know what I'm eating. Point B. Enough said. Take care, everybody. Love you. Peace. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.